For me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy skin and we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
What people do in no money, what people at you, in no at you. Covid money, miss away in the yellow corrupt you. Use the youth, the money, waste my must have statue. Say me like a cash, but bigger than a figure you. Take this spit of money, God, and say that it's not you. One day, the man above end up, him, I got to too much. It in the kitchen, some fly by like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% free.
It burn me.
Garbage pile of it.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption peace.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out with beach.
Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy skin and we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
For me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The 100 promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth and rap and they down in our fever. Member bowl honey and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me.
Or they treat the market man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
Or they treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the son man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
How them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy skin and we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again.
Stibby dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good evening to everyone on the airwaves and welcome to the People's Point of View. It is your station, the Global Television Group. Thank you for joining us this evening. Welcome one and all, everyone on TikTok. Welcome. Continue to top up the screen. Continue to share the live. And let everyone know that the Global Television Group is live at the moment. So come and sit down and let us reason about the ills of our country and the misery of leadership in our country. Thank you very much. Good evening and welcome to my community party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Sharon Bernard, Debbie Jarvis TV, Real Sweet, RJ, Beat and Teach. Good evening, Deb. Good evening, Michelle Lewis Wilson, Violet Watson, Christine Gilbert. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us. I want to start the program this evening by highlighting what I would refer to as Jamaica's #1 human rights attorney. Michelle Eleni is the only person, and this is not the first time, at all time, this is about 3 to 4 deportation now in recent time that the government send back home, prosecute them, detain them, fine them for illegal entry. And Miss Elaine is the only person to continuously challenge the governments and respect the human rights and international law and the treatment of Haitian refugees and asylum seekers. And she is to be hailed for the work that she does, because at all times, she is the only one that you would see jumping, Juntam 26 would have done, and speak up for the people, speak up for the right of the people. So you have to give credit where credit is due. But it makes you want to ask the question, is she Jamaica's only human rights attorney who is not guided by the pocket? Where them have money, you have what you call that fee again? Retainer fee. If them now get a retainer fee, them now open them mouth. Is this what justice comes to? And are you saying there's nobody in the People's National Party to speak out loudly, continuously? Mark Golding, the attorney, Isaac Buchanan, the human rights lawyer, Philip Hallwell, the lawyer, Anthony Hilton, the lawyer, Holy Pano, a lawyer over there. Was it Dana Scott Motley is a lawyer as well? Holy Pano, a lawyer over there. Why are you so silent and the government disregard, blatant disregard for international law, blatant disregard for human rights law, and blatant disregards for our brothers and sisters? Why Mark Golden not chumping about that, or don't they matter? Because I remember clearly Mark Golden agreed with Andrew Holness. He said Jamaica troops go intervene in Haiti. So if you agree for Jamaica troops go to Haiti, go intervene, how do we help other than the American-led intervention? How do we assist those who are fleeing persecution, Mark Golden? These are things we don't need to speak up about, because at the end of the day, when Jamaica as a country continue to violate the rules of international law, and we as a country are going to look bad. If Jamaica is to face penalty from all of this, and Horace Chang and Andrew Holness are going to feel it, and we as a country are going to feel it. But nobody nobody think they can stop a minute to correct what is going on. The People's National Party need to speak up. The wider society, all the law people, them, the bar association, all of the people that in the legal galangin, how one cannot see how this government is violating international law. These are clear violations of international law. You can detain them, but not in police station. It's not the place to deal with asylum seekers or refugees. What the government is required to have is the immigration detention centers to deal with these issues if you must detain them until you hear their application. That's what international law asks to do. That's what you sign up to. Not sign up to having police arrest and brutalize them and refuse to hear their application and arbitrarily send them back. To their detriment as well. Because we know, say, these Asian refugees, no one can class them as economic migrant because life always hard at Haiti and a life hard make them a run. Them a run to save them life. That's why international law gives them those protection. And everybody just sit down and have Andrew Holness and Horace Chang just to violate the rules, and nobody is speaking up or shouting out loudly against what is happening. This is on all of us as a country. When it speak about Jamaica and human rights law, Jamaican international law, Jamaica and respect for treaty rights and obligations. Angela Brownberg, it's good that you can turn all the way here, so, and see what happen all the way at Cuba and ask for help. No problem with that, Miss Brownberg. Each one help each other. But how about the Haitians on our shore, our doorstep, our shoreline, in our police detention center, Miss Brownberg? Never heard of that story? Don't you think they deserve help too, Miss Angela Brownberg? If you can't stand all the way, yes, sir, and Sister Haiti need help, Cuba need help, what about the Haitians that continue to arrive on our shores seeking for help, and then when you look, the government just round them up sometime within 24 hours and return them? When international law says, Renice Nicholson, Marcia Thomas, you must hear their application for asylum. Do they have a legitimate claim? None of these are being done. And I'll drink in backside Nyamin America, sit down, quiet, and the mouth shut on it. Because backside Iridium Nyamin I'll drink in America is doing the same thing as well. Even though America laid in tirade in Haiti, with hungry belly Kenya and poverty-stricken Jamaica, America is failing to see the flagrant disregards for international law. But why you think America is so silent? Many, countless of these international treaties, countless of them America did not ratify them. America never signed up to them. A lot of the international treaties we wanna see in this world, especially the one them where America walk and force people say, "You don't have to sign this for sure so now good steward." America himself have not signed a lot of those international treaties because America don't want to be bound by anything whatsoever. America just want to walk around, brutalize everybody, treat everybody bad, and get away with it. Agency Wagwan, Gloria Morris, how are you? These are Jerk World. But somebody need to speak. Echo, how are you? Somebody need to speak to the government and make them know, say, una make Jamaica look bad. Bad abroad. Bad, bad, bad. As bad as how Andrew Holness make Jamaica look, it's the same way Andrew Holness and Horace Strong make Jamaica look. People don't hit the like button, no man. How look tan bad, so. When you hit the like button, you know, no bust no by now, but people don't have to ask them and beg them and quarrel with them and get in the kerfuffle and the bang around with them. Just hit the like button and make the war done. Can't know, say me don't afraid to argue with them. Hit the like button, man. Then Miles, how are you? Good evening and welcome. Good evening, everyone. Hit the like button. Don't make me wanna get in a ruckus and bang around this evening. Wanna know how it got, just hit the like button, keep tapping up the screen. Otherwise, war road this evening, World War III. So you know can't go on. But somebody needs to hold them and explain to them this is not how it is done. We know see a lot of things this crooked Labour government walk and do how them want to do it, how them feel like do it, and how them think it should have done, how it suit them. It's not like that. It's really not like that. And on international law alone, we see this crooked government turn a blind eye to have a disregard for. Andrew Holness regularly have blatant disregard for our own constitution, our own legislative process and framework prepared legislature. We've regularly seen that display from the Andrew Holness-led regime. But somebody needs to carry Andrew Holness to court in violation of international law. And I can't imagine all these law society, all these bar association, the GLC, the General Legal Council, and all of them people there. You mean none of these people see how Andrew and Chang is dealing with our international law obligation? But then again, if the whole of them so dunce, who did if you see what going wrong? And the PNP, if it did it as a voice for the people, if you correct certain things, speak up on certain things, put things into perspective, them rather lay down the silent, just a wait for all house pop down. I see my color. Yesterday we talked about this, Lord, it get worse. The election promise, it just come so thick and fast. The election promise just come thick and fast. So I don't know if we will have bag to put the election promise in. After 8 years, 8 years of failure, 8 years of destroying our economy, 8 years of destroying Jamaican democracy, Andrew Holness and him people them come with a whole truckload of unachievable promise because we have about few months toward whatever left in government. All of them beautification and beautiful railers that are lining out is only promises and lies. When Mark Golden or the PNP asked Andrew, tell Andrew Holness yesterday, rather than building a new airport at Negril, the Prime Minister should invest in the infrastructures of our roadway across the country. I have even a better idea for the Prime Minister, which I say invest in a national railway, a national rail service across the country. It get even sweeter. Remember the last night we discussed it. Andrew, the owners are going to build airport and Negril. Him a go put, what's him call it? Another run, another terminal, a Montego Bay. And surprise, 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 a new terminal will be coming to Ian Fleming when make them talk it themselves. Remember them always say, your mouth laba laba.
Expanded because also an additional terminal will be built at that section. A call center will be established, warehousing, aircraft hangars, a commercial center, and also an urgent care, a medical facility will be also placed there so that it would make it easier for persons to be picked up by air ambulance. In addition to that, we are expecting another international carrier sometime early next year to begin servicing the Ian Fleming International Airport. And come the 5th of December, American Airlines will be moving from 2 times per week to 7 days per week coming in from Miami. And we also expect other carriers to come in and to invest in the community.
Yes, good economic management can serve me a plate there. Waitress, yes, I want a plate of good economic management. It look like we are trading an airport now. Andrew Holness and Bobby Montague. We're traded in an airport. We don't have bed filling down pan in a hospital. Hallelujah. Hey, Koshata. We don't have wheelchair to sit down pan in a hospital. We don't have X-ray. We don't have MRI. We don't have CT scan. We don't even have road for drive pan. God, the hospital where we're going to have to lay down pan cardboard. Hey, get in a hit. But we're trading an airport. We're build and sell airport because we have a speciality in building and selling airport. Because half a build, we build them for sell. I mean, after we drop at the airport, we're going to need a road for travel pan go home. Don't you think? Don't you think we're going to need a road for travel pan go home after we land on an airport with call center, aerodrome, and all sort of the fancy malarkeys? Do you think you can accomplish that in 11 months? Do you hope to accomplish that, Bobby Montague and Andrew Holness and Horace Chang, in 7 months, in 12 months? Anybody want an airport to buy? Just ask Jamaica to build an airport for you. Because Jamaica belongs to the airport. Because Jamaica couldn't do anything other than building and selling airport. And we hear say, new terminal, Agobila Montego Bay. New airport, I go build a Negril. New terminal, I go build a Ian Fleming. And we don't have road for walk pan. We don't have bed for lay down pan in a hospital. EM one. So what about a national rail service so we can ably get from A to B? A national rail service is what the country requires. Not the monkey story, the Anansi story, the easy jerk world, young BT world, what go on. Not the Anansi story where the Prime Minister pluck up regularly and tell we. But by the way, Prime Minister, are you in charge of defense, aren't you? Missy Wims Gomez or whatever Shamez she name get subpoenaed. And who else hold on there? In relation to the Keith Clark's murder trial, prosecutor want army head gun and bullet book log. Miss Wims Go Shows. Prosecutor in the Keith Clark murder trial has been granted a request for the head of the Jamaica Defense Force, Vice Admiral Antoinette Wins Gorman, as well as the logbook for guns and ammunition in May 2010, and its keeper to be subpoenaed. Senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecution Jeremy Taylor, who is leading the prosecutorial team, made the request yesterday while asking for an adjournment until Monday to facilitate the process. So, Andrew Oldness and the ministry get drawn in to the Keith Clark murder because the buck stop with the whatever happens in the Ministry of Defense. The buck stop with the ministerial head, which is your Prime Minister, Andrew Holness. So let's see how that develop as they go along. But Jamaica people, wanna need for lobby the government for a national rail service. We don't need airport. This airport development, if it goes off it through, is a part of them tourist carriage, get tourists in and out the country in a more flexible way, but not really developing the infrastructure of the country for us, the people, benefit from. So, it's me sorry. Lobby your government and make them know, say, a road you want, or you want a national rail service. There come a time when even your junking friend, even your vile, racist, misogynistic grandfather, you've got to hold them back at a point and said, no, you're making all of us look bad. It is what is really required at the moment of the Jamaica Labour Party. Even though Everard Warmington said, No can hold him back and him dare honor for open on the mouth in a public. Somebody need to let Everard Warmington know you're making all of us look bad. Remember, Justice Panton expose we how dunce we are. You can't continue come out every day, come make all of we look bad, so. There come a time when for the greater good of the party, the greater good of the family, the greater good of the friendship, the greater good of the group, you have to pull the drunken one aside and say, enough. You cannot have any more. You've drank enough.
Posturing, misinformation, misleading statements, or the denigration of members of parliament and the insult by the chairman of the Integrity Commission can never and will never deter me from demanding an audit report for the Integrity Commission before any more funds are provided by Parliament to this entity. The Constitution and the Financial Administration Audit Act make it abundantly clear that the role of the Auditor General is to audit all organs and bodies of the state and is constitutionally required to present the auditing report to Parliament. It is inconsistent with the foregoing constitutional provision and indeed would compromise the office of the Auditor General in its performance of the duties and the carrying out of the office's responsibilities for the persons occupying that constitutional position to sit on. Be an internal part of and participating in the deliberation of a body which the Auditor General is required by the Constitution to audit.
Somebody needs to hold him back. Somebody needs to hold back Everard Warmington. It's not true. You cannot continue to say these lies or misinformation in Parliament or give misleading information in Parliament, Everard Warmington. It is not acceptable. Jamaica Labour Party, somebody needs to hold Everard Warmington back. Misinformation, misleading information in our Parliament is not acceptable. Somebody, help Murdoy read the report for Everard Warmington. We know it's difficult for him to do. But somebody, though, must can sit Everard Warmington down and read the report to him, point out to him, say, this your part, particularly of the Integrity Commission annual report, this particular part speaks of the annual audit of the Integrity Commission. Please, somebody hold him back. Or you don't realize that you hold on. Justified Justice Panton words. So uno dunce, uno buto, uno backwards. All when they on paper, say the plain example in front of you. All when Everard Warmington read off a paper, he can't manage to read it off of the paper. Who write it on paper, give Everard Warmington? Because we know say no you write it. Because if you did write it, you could have talked it out of your head without reading it off a paper. You never thought nothing would deserve writing. Somebody needs to hold back Everard Warmington. Everard Warmington cannot continue to let the governing party look so shambolic and illiterate. Somebody needs to hold him back. It don't look good pan the party. It don't look good as a country when our parliamentarian is calling for something that all he needs to do is go and pick up the report and read it. Please, Everard Warmington, just go pick up the report and read it. It did it. I mean, somebody pat him on his shoulder and say to him, you know, it's actually in the report. Canadian Galley, how are you? What you're really asking for, it is really in the report. All it takes is a good read of the report. It's there. Look good. See it there? Yes, right there. It is there. The audit of the Integrity Commission by an independent auditor. It's in the report, Evra. Just look. I guarantee you, if you look, you will see it. And then you wouldn't have to come out here embarrassing your done self and your done party. Where even a retired justice acetona, man, it looked bad. It looked bad to the point where a retired justice wants to have you all psychologically evaluated. It is bad. Bad, bad, bad. And everybody sit down and have you just a walla hoop and a galang and a embarrass the country at this point. And not the JLP alone, you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed the entire country. When they say Jamaica politician, a few politician, them a suggest them now go just say the Duns Everard Warmington women don't know how we get into the Jamaica people them parliament. They now go talk is so kind longer for talk that way there. You cannot continue to let Everard Warmington go on like this, creating nuisance and embarrassment. It don't look good on us as a nation. It certainly don't look good. Me know so I'm afraid of him. But when you carry him, this is how it work in the Westminster politics. When you want to get through to a friend in a politics or a co-worker or a journalist want to get something out of a politician, you carry them to a dinner, you invite them to dinner, you invite them to a drink at the pub or whatever. And you make sure you sit down, you have dinner with them, you make sure them loosen up on a few glass before you take on the issue that you carry them to go discuss over dinner or over a drink. You need to loosen them up first. If you make sure they're not hungry, because you know, say hungry man is an angry man. And you know, say a sober man sometimes can be a stupid man. So you have to make sure him belly all right. And you have to make sure him loosen up on 2 drinks. So therefore, by the time you open the conversation with him, is more receptive rather than all them defensive them come up. Somebody need to carry Edward Warmington to the bar, carry him to a go-go club, and then after you loosen him up, you can have the conversation and say, look, man, me understand, you know. So you want to stick your claw and you want to stick your oar into Justice Spanton. It really wind you up, say Justice Spanton call with dunce and call with mad. Me understand that part. But just for the greater good of the whole of we, you see the heat the pan we now. Just bite your lip. Bite your lip. Nobody. Everybody afraid that Everard Warmington to say that. But some of you and Beat and Teach have asked for us to rerun amongst these things. So we are going to listen into what happened in Parliament Tuesday with Floyd Green debating him Anas's story and Predia Larceny. But we're not going to listen to Floyd Green. It's just the last few bit of him we are going to catch, and then the bangarang with Juliet and Juliet, what Mark Golden call it? Injunction. Juliet injunction pan Lisa will apply to the entire parliament. What a bangarang.
.gov.jm to complete applications. Madam Speaker, we know that it will take some time for us to tackle the issue of Predia Larceny, but we are taking deliberate steps to ensure that our farmers and fishers can reap what they sow and can truly benefit from their hard work, especially those farmers in our livestock sector. We will protect our farmers. We will grow our agricultural sector. We are taking the bold steps needed to protect the future of agriculture and to create a more prosperous and sustainable tomorrow for farming and fishing communities. Thank you, members.
Responding will be the member from Clarendon Southwest. Minister, I must commend you exactly on point in time.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You flat get him roads, flat green I get
statement
roads from
earlier.
Gillette.
Madam Speaker, the issue of predial larceny touches and concerns every single rural constituency in Jamaica, and particularly those constituencies that have a large farming base. Like my constituency, like Southeast St. Anne, like Central St. Mary, we have faced firsthand the scourge of predial larceny. And it poses a threat to our efforts to expand the industry. In fact, what it does, it poses a deterrent as there's investment hesitancy where the issue of agriculture is concerned. But, Minister, my question is this. I understand that the Predial Larceny Prevention Act provides for the recruitment of wardens, and you're going through with that. But what is being offered to the wardens, why not offer it to the farmers? And here's the reason why I said this. 90% of the time, it is a farmer that first confronts the person who is out there, breaking and entering their farms, right? And so I see firearm license training for the warden. And I'm saying, what about the farmer? Because the reality is that between the point of detection and apprehension, there's a gap, there's a lapse. 90% of the time, they may not even be any apprehension. So why not provide this opportunity to the farmers? It's 1.8 billion, well, we have to go there. It's 1.8 billion is going to cost over 3 years. If the farmers get these very same training, if some of the farmers are certified as district constables, we would save this 1.8 billion. It would be a massive saving to us as a government. So as far as I'm concerned, I believe that the farmers should be given priority where the recruitment for wardens are concerned, and that the farmers should be given access to these basic training that is highlighted here in your report to Parliament. Right? So as far as I'm concerned, Minister, predial larceny is something we all have to address. I'm happy to hear that the police now has a designated predial larceny unit. Because 2 years ago, that was an issue that was raised here by me in terms of the fact that there was none. So I'm happy that you have made that move. It's a very good move, but we need to expand on it. One Hilux can do nothing at all. You and I know that. You reported one Hilux, laughable. I mean, we need a fleet of Hiluxes. We need a whole fleet of vehicles dedicated towards predial larceny prevention. Because the word prevention is not meaningless. Right? And in order to prevent something, you have to deter. What you're focusing on here is actually apprehension.
I totally get where Mr. Cousins is coming from. But ask yourself this question, Flat Green. If police, I may ask you this morning, can't deal with this issue, not deal with this issue, how you think paper bag, wet paper bag, Flat Green, is going to make much of a difference in this?
Pension and prosecution. The deterrence is what is important, and the deterrence starts with the farmers, arming and protecting the farmers, giving them the tools they need to protect themselves, so that the persons who want to come and break and enter onto the farms don't they second guess themselves because they know that they might be confronted with resistance from the farmers. So, Minister, we look forward to seeing how this whole thing will work, but I think there's another way, another solution, which is ensuring that the farmers themselves are the ones that become the wardens and are the ones that are entrusted with the personal responsibility to protect themselves and protect their livelihoods. Thank you very much, Minister.
There is a
Yeah, I'm
question
the
for a
farmer, the man train
member
them to defend
sitting in
themselves.
the seat at Saint and Southeast.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thought you don't know me by now, though. I think one of the most interesting experiences I've had in my years as a member of parliament was seeing when a group, two people, stuff an entire cow into a pro box. No, it's a serious something. No.
Lisa Hanna was talking about the Oral Brown situation, where Oral Brown stuck the cow in the back of the car. Yes, it was a real situation. Somebody from my community did it. Yes.
My thing is, what is the question of the minister?
I'm getting there.
All right, so you have to get to the question. So this is a section when you are no longer allowed to make speeches, as would have been done by the member who speaks as the individual.
But you're taking up my time,
responding. No, it's my duty to do so.
All right.
And it is your duty to get to the question.
Got you. My two questions are these, Madam Speaker. And I never thought I would get here, but veterinary services, private veterinary services, Minister, offer the insertion into dogs and to cats a chip. And I remember years ago. And what happens is that chip, you can read it, it's put here. The question I have for you, as a part of your predial larceny plan and strategy, is it that you will provide, or does RADA or the Ministry of Agriculture have the ability or the hope to provide this kind of technology to livestock? Because from my experience, it is mainly livestock that is stolen as a part of predial larceny. The pigs, the goats, the cows, and other livestock, not mainly vegetables. If I may be permitted, Madam Speaker, to ask a second question. Thank you so much. Much obliged. My second question is, I know the geography of most parishes. And based on how RADA is set up, extension officers have to traverse sometimes two parishes.
Remember, so all of what you said before is not a question. And it is one of the things that we have to do better at. We have to get to the question.
Oh, gather them, gather them, gather them. Gather them, gather them, gather them. And I say, God, Juliet, you don't just raise up and stand up and ask, Madam Speaker, can pigs fly? It's not like that. You have to give a background to the question. That's why I miss Portia, you know. I miss Portia from our parliament. Because no girl can talk to Portia in a parliament. So, no girl can talk to Portia, Lucretia Simpson, in a parliament. So, because Portia would have tell you, look here, are the whole of we host this. How you're going to ask a question where you don't give a background as to why you're asking the question. So me out the road here, Juliet, don't get very confused as to why Lisa is asking that question. Because the question have no context to it, Juliet Holness. It has always been like this in the Westminster democracy, Juliet Wholeness. I just you take it upon your head and fix it how you want it, when it suit you. When you wake up out of your bed, Juliet Wholeness, and you step out a morning time and those say good morning and nothing to you, you come a parliament and you offload pan the whole away. It's not the first you do it. From you up there, I be a my man galang in this year, so I me one of the talk.
And I notice you're a little impatient today, Madam Speaker, because normally you're not this impatient.
So the leeway member allows too much
I hear you.
vacillating.
I'm not
And
vacillating,
therefore, I am asking members to think about their question and get straight to the question. Going forward, it is really one of the hallmarks of responsible behavior that we would love to have in the House. So member, think about the question and then get straight to the question, member.
Huh? I'll try and be as responsible as possible.
And I must tell you, the member from St. Anne Southeast is not as irresponsible as many other members. So it is rough that the example is being marked down now. But once persons continuously, which you have been doing, members, abuse the opportunity to ask questions.
Everybody know in the employment spheres, somebody will come to work so grumpy, have serious issues at home. All that we will go work and meet that bad manager, that bad boss, or that bad supervisor. We know it's nothing to do with us. We know it's a burden. But the manager left van yard, come and work with. The manager just think to say because he can't manage when have the problem a yard with, if he come and work, come through the burden pan we. It's just what Juliet Holness is doing in our parliament. Yeah, your problem for yard, come through upon the whole world out here. That's all she's doing.
And make statements, and it is regularly done. There is going to come a time when the speaker will have to hold you strong and directly to the rules. So members,
I'm the scapegoat.
the question.
And it's fine.
Go ahead, member.
So, Minister, the second question that I have for you is, in your mandate to deal with Pradio last night, since you have made so many arrests.
Lisa want cuss bad word, you know? Cuss, Lisa, cuss.
The context has to do with violence that is already.
My thing is, what is the question?
Answer. And a whole fleet of.
My thing is, what is the question of the minister?
I'm getting there.
All right, so you have to get to the question. So this is the section when you are no longer allowed to make speeches as would have been done by the member who speaks as.
Lisa, every pretty girl at Jamaica know how to throw their skirt over their head and cuss and then pick up them bag and act like an uptown woman. Every Jamaica woman know that, Lisa. Some of you know where you act and I go on pan like in front of camera. You there, who sod the camera? Tell the girl, say, look here, not because your foot bigger than Philly, you know, have more anchor in you than we. All of we people vote with you put in here.
The individual.
But you're taking up my time,
responding. No, it's my duty to do so.
Reclaiming my time, reclaiming my time.
To the question.
Got you. My two questions are these, Madam Speaker. And I never thought I would get here, but veterinary services, private veterinary services, Minister, offer the insertion into dogs and to cats a chip. And I remember years ago.
You see where Lisa have the shorter breath or she stop and she blow short. That's all which part she want cuss a bad word.
And what happens is that ship, you can read it, it's put here. The question I have for you, as a part of your predial larceny plan and strategy, is it that you will provide, or does RADO or the Ministry of Agriculture have the ability or the hope to provide this kind of technology to livestock? Because from my experience, it is mainly livestock that is stolen as a part of predial larceny. The pigs, the goats, the cows, and other livestock, not mainly vegetables. If I may be permitted, Madam Speaker, to ask a second question. Thank you so much. Much obliged. My second question is, I know the geography of most parishes. And based on how RADA is set up, extension officers have to traverse sometimes 2 parishes.
Member, so all of what you said before is not a question. And it is one of the things that we have to do better at. We have to get to the question.
Because she confused with even the paper them in front of
You're a
her.
little impatient today, Madam Speaker, because normally you're not this impatient.
So the leeway member allows too much vacillating.
You listen,
therefore,
what on do here
and other
is that Lisa spot the frustration with Juliet take fan yard come a parliament. Because Lisa tell her, say, usually she's not that impatient. If you don't notice, Juliet even rustling and fruffle with the paper them in front of her, something itch her. What's itching you, Miss Holness?
Not mainly vegetables. If I may be permitted, Madam Speaker, to ask a second question. Thank you so much. Much obliged. My second question is, I know the geography of most parishes. And based on how RADA is set up, extension officers have to traverse sometimes 2 parishes.
Member, so all of what you said before is not a question. And it is one of the things that we have to do better at. We have to get to the question.
I notice you're a little impatient today, Madam Speaker, because normally you're not this impatient. So
here.
The leeway member allows too much vacillating.
I'm not
very agitated, Min-Man. Very.
To think about their question and get straight to the question. Going forward, it is really one of the hallmarks of responsible behavior that we would love to have in the House. So, member, think about the question and then get straight to the question, member.
I'll try and be as responsible as possible.
And I must tell you, the member from St. Anne Southeast is not as irresponsible as many other members. So it is rough that the example is being marked down now. But once persons continuously, which you have been doing, members, abuse the opportunity to ask questions and make statements, and it is regularly done, there is going to come a time when the speaker will have to hold you strong and directly to the rules. So members,
I'm the scapegoat.
The question.
And it's fine.
Go ahead, member.
So, Minister, the second question that I have for you is, in your mandate to deal with predial larceny, since you have made so many arrests.
Costly,
I'm trying to frame this question because the context has to do with violence that is already existing with some of the farmers that just take matters into their own hands. I'll leave it there. I can speak to my constituency in particular. What mechanism will you have in place, therefore, to ensure that if you have these farmers' neighborhood watches kind of situations and the training for wardens, is there any physical tools i.e. bullhorns, i.e. motorcycles? What is it that they can, because once another car comes from Clarendon, for example, over to St. Anne, by the time the police get there from Claremont, they are gone.
The next question comes to us from St. Andrew South, opposition leader, and the final question from St. Mary Central. Thanks, members.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'll try to comply with your injunction. Minister, looking at the legal framework that now exists, I think there's more work to be done. For example, the Larceny Prevention Act. Several of the offenses under that act, which actually touch and concern the operations of agricultural wardens, have penalties which are long out of date and need to be modernized. And my question is, when will you address this? So, for example, under Section 15 of the Larceny Prevention Act, if you're in possession of clothing or other accoutrements furnished for the use of agricultural wardens, and you can't satisfactorily account for your possession of that, or you hold yourself out essentially to and impersonate an agricultural warden, the offense is punishable by a penalty not exceeding 20,000 Jamaican dollars. And we know that this is a money business. This Larceny business is a money business. So the penalties have to be strong. So that is one example. And there are others in the Act, Section 16, which deals with wearing the uniforms of wardens and so on. So my first question is, when will you complete a review of the Larceny Prevention Act, which is the primary statute dealing with this offense, or this range of offenses, to upgrade the penalties and make them really have an appropriate deterrent effect on persons who are inclined to carry out the dastardly practice of stealing people's agricultural goods, whether it be produce or livestock? That's my first question. My second question relates to the offense of larceny in the Larceny Act, which I think also needs to be upgraded and modernized in relation to the penalties there, which have not been reviewed for a long time. And the question is, when will that be addressed? And lastly, Minister, the POCA, the Proceeds of Crime Act, the second schedule of it, I think, is a schedule which applies the regime of POCA to offenses under other statutes, including asset forfeiture and really getting the money out of crime. And this is a very critical thing in the fight against crime. And my question to you is, there are a number of offenses scheduled to the Larceny Prevention Act, the Country Fires Act, the Larceny Act, and certain sections in the Larceny Act, including larceny of cattle, simple larceny, killing of animals with intent to steal, larceny itself, and so on. Malicious injuries to Property Act, including destroying or damaging trees in gardens, destroying or damaging trees elsewhere than in gardens, etc. And the Trespass Act, certain provisions there. When are we going to bring those predicate offenses really around agricultural crimes under the POCA regime? All it takes is a ministerial order by the Minister of National Security to do it. And it's something that's long overdue, and I commend it to you. I think there needs to be an urgent review of these statutes that I've mentioned and the bringing of any serious agricultural crimes under the regime of POCA. Thank you.
Get straight to
the country is in problem, you know. If we cannot exercise parliamentary democracy, if our right to speak in our parliament, if the right of our elected representative to speak in our parliament depends on how Anjo cheat Juliet, before Andrew left out of the house a morning time, we're not getting anywhere. Lisa, tell her no, she recognize it. What is happening to you today, Madam Speaker? You're not normally this disorientated, this agitated, and this impatient. Of course, Lisa never mentioned all of the words them. She said impatient, but the impatient, you would recognize the agitation and the anger as well, even before you get to the impatience. What is causing that? It is the question. Where is it coming from, Miss Wholeness, is the question. Nobody never teach you, Juliet. You cannot pick up your problem from home and carry in at the workplace. Workplace problem, Miss Wholeness, is workplace problem. Yard problem, Miss Wholeness, a yard problem. If you wake up and Andrew do you something, rather than come at work, come take it out upon the people them, calling sick, the whole of we do it. Get up and you know having the mood, calling sick, Miss Wholeness. I wonder if anything of such get under your skin and irritate you. Cause Rhoda say, to tell you say, she confident say Andrew go buy back the seat gear again. So, you're going to have to go look in her face for much more longer. I wonder if that make you come a parliament so rumpu and disgruntled and a finger your paper them and a display your anger in front of everybody. You're sitting on the country's high chair, Juliet Holness. It don't look good. You just make the country cheaper and look like back road and get off and you get on the high chair, the Juliet. Are you not seeing or hearing? Hmm? You don't see all you turn the country's high chair in a market style, Juliet. Of course, we know so you come from the market style. We know you come from the market style, Juliet, but it no means say you fi carry the market style go all the way in our parliament, follow you. And about that way, it will put you in there for. We never even want you there. And your husband take you up and show you in our direction. And never we ask for you because we know say you and your husband are thief. And having two thief I deal with one purse is a dangerous thing. It's a very dangerous thing. And for your husband take you and unleash your power way, be a problem after problem. But you have to learn the our mentality, compartmentalization, Juliet Holness. You have to learn the skill of compartmentalization. Put the things them into them different place where them belong. What that means, Juliet, it means say the problem a yard you feel lefty a yard. And when you go walk, Juliet, and you have problem there, you know, carry home the work problem, contaminate Andrew and the picnic them about. You keep work problem at work problem. But then again, if you're your home, you don't even know. I'm sure when you're there home, you probably talk to Andrew like in a parliament. You're there and I say, Prime Minister. You probably don't even recall. Because you see my yard, you see my work. When always in a one another face. It's too much for you now, Juliet. It's too much. Mental health is real, Juliet Wholeness. Rich people do have breakdown as well, Juliet Wholeness. We can see it coming, Juliet Wholeness. Stop resisting, Juliet Wholeness. Surrender to how you feel, Juliet Wholeness. It's the only way that you're going to come to acceptance, Juliet Wholeness. You have to surrender to what the situation is. When you surrender yourself, Juliet Wholeness, to the will of your situation, it makes it much easier, my dear. The rusting of paper and the agitation and the anger, my dear, will calm itself way, way down. If you submit yourself, my dear, to your condition, just accept it. Rhoda is here to stay. She's here to stay. I mean, you could have drop and walla in a dot, you could have rub and scrub pan tree like hog. She's here to stay. Learn to deal with it. Submit yourself to the will of your situation and condition, Miss Wholeness. I'm sure if you do that, your attitude will be lighter on the nation. Because God know, a long time you just are getting our way and a finger, and a change up, and a stifle debate, and a black question, and all of them something there. That particular position in our parliament is a presiding position, is a refereed position, is a position that ought to be neutral, Juliet Wholeness. That's why in the Westminster democracy, we want to quote all the time, once a party wins the election and nominate a Speaker of the House, the Speaker then resigns from their constituency, forcing a by-election, and then that Speaker have a neutral job as Speaker of the House. It is not a partisan's job, my dear. Are you come and fix it up like that? It is not a partisan's job. If you're going to follow the Westminster model, then follow it carefully. But you cannot all the while jump up and say, in our Westminster democracy, in a Westminster democracy, Tony Blair's wife could have never sat as Speaker of the House. Tony Blair's wife was not in the British Parliament. Neither David Cameron, neither Boris Johnson. It just does not happen in the Westminster democracy. It's a conflict of interest. It is a conflict of interest to have the husband as head of the executive and the wife of the head of the legislature. It's a conflict of interest. I've never seen it happen in a democracy. I've only known of this to ever happen in Zimbabwe, and I think it possibly happened in Argentina at some point as well. But not in a Westminster-style democracy. This does not happen, where a wife and a husband sits in parliament, sits in the same cabinet, pillow talk every night or whenever time them sleep in the same room. That's not the Westminster democracy. I don't say a word. Call it the Juliet and the Andrew Wholeness democracy because That is what is in operation at the moment. The Juliet and the Andrew Holness democracy. Because one thing you all have done is continuously damaging our Jamaican democracy. The position Juliet's been given, she does not understand it. You don't have to strike matches. The sister Juliet Holness does not understand her role. Juliet Holness in the NHS is what would be recognized as a bed blocker. Or in the Métis world, she would be recognized as a cock blocker. She don't understand her job. She's only there to walk and keep up space and get up and tell the country a nasty story. We know better. Many of us went to school and we did well at school too. That's why we know when uno go wrong and we can advise uno say, don't do that. It look bad upon the country. But neither Juliet Holness or Everard Warmington seeing no need to step back from the regular disgrace. Carlos Wagwan, from the regular disgrace, Grace Linton, how are you? What them call down pan with country, day in, day out. It's terrible. Very terrible. Because all of these are being viewed internationally. It's not like when them used to in our parliament under them hog and goat mentality when the world not looking at them. The world is looking. The world here, Everard Warmington asks a dumb question them rather than go read. The world here, Andrew Holness just a walk on an issue at airport. So when Andrew Holness did if 8 years I never issue out. But all of a sudden, Andrew leave. Andrew just a walk on an issue at airport, so Millicent Jones, and Andrew still can't tell me who is going to be the next Minister of Finance. Does it make sense? One of the most powerful job in an Andrew Holness cabinet. Nobody's been chosen to replace Nigel Clark. Nigel Clark have days to go, and the country is yet to know who is going to hold the purse string and PNP silence. Ethically, Andrew cannot. Andrew should not. But what will stop Andrew if Andrew wants to become Jamaica's new finance minister? What's there to stop him? There is nothing there to stop him from becoming the next Minister of Finance. Can you trust Andrew Holness to direct the country's purse? Can you trust Andrew Holness to be in charge of the country's purse, given the Prime Minister's financial track record, given the Prime Minister's in court at the moment fighting with the integrity body over his statutory declaration? Is Andrew Holness a safe pair of hands to take control of your finances? Why is it that the Prime Minister still cannot name someone a successor for Nigel Clark? If it's not the Prime Minister, I go take the position himself with the help of advisors like Alak John. You see the misery we country in. It is also touted as well that the Prime Minister could use his accountant wife, Tina Moore, to become the next Minister of Finance. Jamaica is in a terrible place. Jamaica is in a terrible place. A government in collapse. A very miserable, tainted democracy. Jamaica is in problem. And this is why we need a general election. Because Andrew Holness resigning does not solve the problem. Because if Andrew Holness cannot find a finance minister to replace Nigel Clark, I'm sure us as a country will have major problem. Us as a country will have major problem when it comes to choosing a prime minister, a leader, somebody to replace Andrew Holness. It is a terrible situation. Very, very terrible situation. But if we don't stand up in our country, them just go take it and mash it up, you know. Because if Andrew and Juliet take it over, I just take them and take it and I mash it up. Take it and I fix it how them want it. That's what's been happening in our country. A prime minister in front of the court trying to strike out a law because them afraid of the word illicit enrichment. A prime minister wife in court fighting over stolen land. Fighting over stolen land. That's why our country in a problem. Because those people who are in court at the moment, the prime minister fighting to strike out a piece of legislation or not agreeing with the integrity body. A wife in court fighting over people stolen land. Fighting over people stolen land. Those are the two people at the top of the pecking order in our governance structure. The head of the legislature and the head of the executive. In a court, a walla, over, thieving goods. There is a sunshine on TikTok, not famous sunshine, one of the labor right sunshine. Sunshine, you could have mad, hungry could have kill you. Because every time on a run come out, on a talk about people bad mind. Where Andrew have for me bad mind in you, me not bad mind people for thief. Me not bad mind people for living in a misery. Me not bad mind people for being torment. Me not bad mind people for looking over them shoulder. And that's what on a prime minister do, because everything on a prime minister do, it's all about stealing. Everything on a prime minister do, sunshine, it's all about crime. This is why on a prime minister, statutory declaration cannot be verified. This is why on a prime minister around millions through bank account where him say open for 1975 and he never remember or he never know about it, but him around millions through it, sunshine. Why people for bad mind, thief, and murderers, sunshine? Like, talk it truth now. Why all the while you come with this bad mind argument? You try labor rights to have a debate. Try to have a debate rather than every minute you come. A bad man. A bad man. What with a bad man, Andrew Holness for? Who you ever hear bad man, nobody for walk on thief. Who you ever hear bad man, nobody for the miserable on the prime minister, you know? Hmm? What is wrong with Uno? Everything a bad man and a bad man. The prime minister is a thief. The prime minister is a crook. The prime minister, Andrew Holness, is corrupt. And a bad man will question. So it's facts. The uncertified statutory declaration that came out, that was tabled on the 17th of September. That statutory declaration that referred the prime minister to the Financial Investigative Division who investigate sunshine, financial fraud, money laundering, corruption, tax evasion, and them something there. That's what Andrew Holness is being referred to. So let me call him thief if me want. And a bad mind with bad mind. We just attack we go so. Why every minute on a labor right come? A bad man and a bad man. What is there for anyone to bad mind Andrew Holness over? Andrew Holness live a very miserable, rich life. Andrew Holness a walk and a look over his shoulder as to when the FBI or the Jamaica investigators them are go creep him up. Oprah Winfrey, Wagwan, we hear to them radio host, but them a keep it under wraps. If we don't read Oprah Winfrey host, just the case and put on the bangle pan the woman. We are wait to see the bangle pan Oprah hand, just like how we are wait to see the bangle pan Juliet and Andrew, because certainly the way all them a thief sunshine, if Andrew and Juliet don't tap the thief in, them certainly are going to get the bangle one day. You certainly go rest, stop worry about the prime minister. It won't happen. All right, sunshine, if it won't happen, you know what? I go and buy ambulance and stretcher. They pick on up when the general election call. Because on a labor right thing to say, after election win with violence and intimidation. Of course, we know say, as so the labor right. You're praying in vain. Okay, I pray in vain. You wait and see. Is the reason why you not come out and I run every day with a bad mind, is because you know that it's all over for Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party. Who you should be disgruntled with at the moment is Andrew Holness will destroy on a party. Andrew Holness will make sure say don't have no electability left, because the way how him destroy the Jamaica Labour Party, the country now go choose again. You could have buy till you can't buy no more. The country see the Jamaica Labour Party for what it is. The country see the Jamaica Labour Party for the evil it is. All the time the Jamaica Labour Party in a power, there's some economic debacle. Look at what Nigel Clark did to us, and it's just swanning off left us like that. Nigel Clark, mash it up. Keep tapping up the screen over TikTok, my people. Quite a few of you over there. Keep tapping up the screen and support. Sunshine, you can tap the screen too, because Andrew Holness, it's over for Andrew Holness. Whether you don't like it, yes or no, you are going to hear it more and more. It's over for Andrew Holness and it's over for the Jamaica Labour Party because Andrew Holness has crippled the electability of the Jamaica Labour Party by the thieving and the criminality and the corruption of Andrew Holness and his wife. That has destroyed the electability of the party. Yes, Ronald Bright, if you listen to me, keep joining my life more and more. I don't support the Labour Party. I don't support the PNP. I'm an independent journalist when me beat all of them when me want. Don't bother think so because Andrew get beaten tonight. Mark Golden and for him team don't get fear beaten from global television. Global television is not here to walk and protect nobody. It's about our country. And me now go play the game of politics. But Andrew Holness is the decision maker at the moment. Andrew Holness is the one that's making the decision in our country at the moment. A lot is going wrong. A lot of lies have been told to us. Me can't go all PNP for account for those decisions. Of course, if you don't listen to me all the while, you don't hear me all PNP for to account for them fluffy lackluster way of doing things and not holding the government to account properly. If you listen to me, I've always said it, the PNP is not doing a good job in opposition, and that's why I have a problem of how they may do in government. Also, don't believe say it's only because the Labour right them duns. Why you see when the Labour right them come and hear me talk, them go off on a tangent is because that's generally Labour right. Them duns and them backwards and them lack Jamal education. So once them hear you talk, them no wait to get context, them come tell you say you're bad man. Bad man over what, my dear? Bad man a thief? Bad man a criminal, a prime minister that has been looking over his shoulder? Lady, please. Please go and vote for your children's future and stop vote for partisan mess that have bring Jamaica into this situation that we have ended up into, because everything is about party and leader and nothing is about our country. Man, move with your broke pocket hungry self-fire where I go sell your vote for $20,000, $4,000 a year vote. What happened to your broke pocket, man, and your hungry belly and your voting? What if you do is stop vote, stop make politicians pay enough to vote, and vote for policies that will develop your country. And vote so when leaders come in, leader can work for the whole as a country, not just for JLP or for PNP. So no don't come over my page, go and dictate to me how to talk. Me go to school, go train for talk. Me brighter than Andrew and Juliet. Even though me not sit down on high chair like them, me brighter than them. Me sure me never pay nobody for pass none of my degree nor diplomas. Never. And me pass all of them. And me read and write for all of them. Ask Andrew Holness if that's the same for him. See what policy I'm talking about. It's labor right duns. Labor right duns. Because them always rock up on people page with them personal feeling. Just like how you see Juliet rock up in a parliament Tuesday with the heartache and the pain to Andrew Holness probably never come home Monday night. Yes, sunshine, go on home, go walla in a mud like pig like Everard Warmington. Because the whole are not duns and want to train people to be duns like we not do it. We not duns like we stay and make alone turn the duns. All right, sunshine. if for the first year book me up, my dear, you'll be getting more of me. I bet you couldn't put any diploma on the screen. 100,000, I dare you. All right, this is another pussy call, Blessed. Blessed, you just come. You don't know about me. You don't know about me, Blessed. Me glad you don't know about me. Blessed send dare me to put up a diploma on the screen. Blessed, I have diploma, I have LLB, and I have the LLM. What else do you want? I can go for the doctorate if you choose. Can you show me your qualifications? You don't know 10 from 100. You you done switch over. Well, you're correct on that, Blessed. When it come to counting, me done in accounting, but when it come to my era of the law, Blessed, when me spend 6 years at law school, you can't fool me there, so me dear. So, it don't matter what you come with. I have the broadest back on social media. If you think to say, no, can come over here. If no think to say, can come over here and run on the mouth, a lie, they tell. This is where lip service resides, my darling. One went to law school to train in lip service, you see. Me no dunce like Andrew and Juliet, Me can act dunce if me want. And me can lift up your skirt and show it over your head and show them say, ants, nyam out your jaws. But one doesn't choose to go down that route, darling. One will keep it hanging with you. But what I would encourage on a labor right like Sunshine and Blessed to do, go read. You see, just like how Everett Warmington and the rest of parliamentarians refuse to read, I think Kristen, I wonder if this is Kristen who I know. You see, like how I refuse to read, that is my encouragement to you. Go on, go read. Please. If you read, you wouldn't come out here and embarrass yourself the way you do by asking some weird, stupid, don't make no sense question and make yourself look like utter fools in public. Don't do it. Don't do it. Blessed, me can teach you, I can teach you the whole LLB syllabus. I can teach you to become a lawyer, Blessed, if you so choose. I can give you the first limb on your legal, what you call it? I can teach you the entire LLB degree. You don't have to go to university. I can teach you for free. All right? But then again, if you can't read Jamal, if you can't read Jamal, how would you be able to read 3 different units of law at the same time? Come, I would have to start you off by teaching you contract law, the English legal system, introduction to the study of the law, as well as constitutional law. You would have to do those 4 models, my dear, in your first year. Do you think you could read or write up to that mark to get to the second year where we do the law of tort, criminal law, company law, and any of the others until we get to final year where we're going to choose optionally whether we want to do immigration, we want to do litigation, we want whatever you want to do, my dear. I can teach you. Just steady on over here and you will be taught as we go along. All right? We know a son of dance. And we know son and labor right, but we will take on a time, we don't know. We're educators. Over here, we're educator first, and secondly, we're independent journalists. But what we can do there, we can take the time to educate you, because the purpose for our program is to educate and elevate the people of Jamaica so they can be aware and in the know. So when we politicians come and tell we lie, we can know say a lie them and tell we not just jump up and say, yes, my leader, go on, one bro God, yes, one thief in bro God, of course. Thank you all very much for being here tonight with us on the Global Television Group. It was indeed your program, The People's Point of View. Make sure, blessed and sunshine, you hit the follow button. Make sure I will be staying over for a few minutes on TikTok if anybody wants to have a kerfuffle with me. But we're going to top out on YouTube and Facebook at the moment. Thank you all very much for being here tonight. Glad to have you. Join us back tomorrow morning for our At a Glance program. Have a great night and good night from the Global Television Group.